All right, good morning, everybody. We have been struggling for 10 minutes on how to sit. We've decided everybody go in on an angle.
Lean forward.
Everybody lean, tall back, lean forward. Come on, Melanie, get your shoulder in there. There you go, working it. Good morning, everybody. Good morning, everybody. First and foremost, it's Nikolai's birthday. Yay!
Happy birthday!
So he wore his avocado shirt for his birthday. Gotta love it.
Of course.
We are excited to have you here because today we are going to share with you a film that we recently produced. We traveled to Sri Lanka. Quick introduction to the team. They'll be talking a little bit later, but this is Jordan.
Hi.
Corn whatever. She's got a cool last name. Jordan has been an associate photographer with our company for how many years now? Almost 6 years. Very long time. This is Melanie. And Melanie, say hi.
Hi.
Melanie produced the incredible video. She's the most amazing editor and absolutely outstanding work. And Jordan, by the way, does both stills and video. And then Mr. Nikolai, the birthday boy. Nikolai, what do you do again?
I don't know.
His birthday. He does a little bit of everything. He does video work, but he also produced all of the stills for this film. So we're pretty excited. I'm going to jump right in because we definitely have a lot to cover. And no matter what, at 9:30, no matter where we are in this presentation, we are going to stop and share with you the film. So we hope you guys will stay posted. It is going to be really exciting. It's a beautiful story, and we're very, very proud of it. So let me switch over. Got to see if I can figure this is a new program, so I have to figure it out. All right, here we go. We are going to get started. All right, so you can still see us. I don't know. Can you guys still see us with this? We haven't quite figured that out. By the way, Nikolai, you have a couple birthday blessings, so congratulations.
Yay, birthday.
We want to welcome you all here. We are super excited to have you here, and we appreciate that you're taking the time to share this message with us. We have the privilege of traveling to many countries, working with a lot of NGOs, nonprofits that service families, children, babies, and it's always exciting when we can share. So thank you guys for joining. We're going to jump right in and actually start with a little trailer here and get to work. Guys. So that's just a little of some of our travels. We've had a really incredible time, and most of those that footage was from different NGOs that we've worked with. But let's go ahead and first explain why we are here and how we got here. As you can see, this wonderful man, this is Nimal, and Nimal, he's a student of mine. He would come to my shows in California, and he had been to several shows, and I had shared a piece, I believe it was about Operation Smile. And at the end of the show, he came up to me and he told me about his daughter who was doing incredible work in Africa. She worked for an organization called Gaia, and he really wanted me to get in touch with her. And so through that introduction, I was able to meet Melanie. We were able to work with the Gaia Foundation. Melanie and I traveled to Africa. We produced a beautiful film for them, and it really was one of the most incredible experiences of my life. Well, fast forward, how many years has it been? Two? Almost two?
Yeah.
Almost 2 years, and Nimal contacted me again, and Nimal is from Sri Lanka, and he really wanted to do something in his own country, and so he had this incredible idea to bring us there to work with this foundation, Clarendon Foundation, and to produce a film for them. And so that's kind of where this all started. Now, it was really fun because several other artists got involved. Melanie Anderson, big shout out to Melanie, everybody.
Hey,
Yay! Melanie Anderson actually went there to help. She actually taught a class, and some of those funds were used to help cover the cost of producing the film. The Clarendon Foundation contributed as well. The one thing I like to let people know right off, and I have to, brag about these guys a little bit. People don't realize when we go to these countries, we donate our time, we donate our resources. These guys, these wonderful people here, they actually donate their time as well. They're not paid to be there. They even pay for their own plane tickets to get there. So It is an incredibly generous thing that they do. It's something that we really believe that we have to do from our heart, because I think it's important to understand that, everybody has different talents and different things. We are able to take our talents and use them towards producing these films and creating a message and sharing that with other people. So kudos to these guys. I got through that without crying. I did pretty good. So these guys are incredible. People just do not realize. A lot of people look at our lives and they say, oh my gosh, that's so incredible. You get to travel. But they don't just travel. They sacrifice a lot to be here. So give yourself a round of applause. Yay.
Yeah.
Good job.
Stand too.
All right. Yeah, well. All right. So we're going to go through and introduce ourselves real quick. And as I said, at 9:30, I'm watching my clock. At 9:30, we are going to stop wherever we are, and we are going to share this beautiful film with you. So let me move forward. And if you're here, say hello. Give me a shout out. We want to know who's watching, so definitely say hi. Nick, you're getting lots of birthday blessings, so that's pretty cool.
Thanks, guys.
Melissa Paulus Gores, I think how you say it. She said, you're amazing. So good job. It's Nick Day. All right, so we're going to go ahead. I'm going to start. My name is Sandy Putsch. If you're not familiar with my work, I have been a professional portrait photographer for 32 years. I have been shooting film and video for, goodness, well over 10 years. And really, my work has evolved from, I think I started with babies and children and eventually, moved into families. I photographed weddings, and eventually I really, hey, your mom's here.
Hi, Mom.
Hi, Mom. Carol's here too. Yay, everybody's showing up. Eventually we moved into video and video production. We have a full video production. You can check it out at sandyputchproductions.com. Video has really become an incredible part of our lives. It is the resource that we use to sort of share our messages, and we have a lot of fun with that as well. So I'm going to start first because I just kind of want to share a little bit about what I saw and learned in Sri Lanka. We had an amazing experience. We were actually able to travel through the country. Originally, when we arrived, we started right in on filming. The first 3 or 4 days were spent filming and working with the NGO. And then we actually took a few extra days and we were able to travel around and see temples. And I don't know, what were your favorite things? Like, pick one thing, favorite thing.
The rock caves.
Rock caves were incredible.
The tuk-tuks.
Tuk-tuks were awesome. Those were terrifying, actually. And
I loved the elephants, and we saw sea turtles too.
oh yeah, I thought you were more into the sea turtles, but the elephants were
Elephants
pretty
are cool,
epic,
yeah.
and we'll share a little bit of that. So obviously, when you get this opportunity to go to another country and see a completely different way of life, it really is a blessing, and we are grateful for the people that were able to, provide us this opportunity and let us see all these incredible things. So if I were to have to do a quick highlight, I would say for me, definitely, the Jeep Safari was a lot of fun, although Melanie Anderson in the back, everybody, hi Melanie, and Sarah, her daughter. Basically, if you ask Melanie, we had the worst driver ever.
Yeah.
We'll talk about it a little bit later, but no, we would get these epic opportunities to pull right up next to an elephant, and for whatever reason, he would pull across the street, and everybody else would get in our way. So it was really kind of funny, but I did enjoy the experience. Sea turtles were super cool. Although we decided we wanted to break in and rescue them because they're actually in a, what do they call that? Sanctuary. The work is that they release the turtles. So these little baby turtles are born and they release them back into the ocean every 24 hours. But we still wanted to kidnap them and release them ourselves, but we didn't do it. One of the things I wouldn't say it's not that we didn't like it, but it definitely, after a few days, the little meal you see at the bottom, that was our breakfast, which...
Every day.
The
first two, it was great.
Yeah, the first two we were hungry, and it was great, and we are so grateful, but there's definitely something... I think the people who are feeding us really wanted us to feel comfortable and to give us an American breakfast, so the eggs were very, very, very salty. So they were very hard to eat. And oniony and salty, but so that pretty much left you with a hot dog and pork and beans. I think you can't see the pork and beans, a tomato, and 4 pieces of bread, which again, total gratitude. But towards the end, I think we were just eating 4 pieces of bread every day. We would just start with the toast and eat the dry toast, and that was kind of our day. So definitely appreciated it. It was a great experience. But I would say the breakfast definitely, after so many days, not quite as enjoyable. I think my favorite part were all the beautiful colors. Everything is so vibrant. The people, just every area we traveled to was just really vibrant and beautiful. So it was a lot of fun to see all that. Probably the most impactful place that we went was towards the end, and that was the Tsunami Museum. I think we each have takeaways from that. It was very powerful, very hard to talk about. But what I think was interesting is we took a little boat tour. What did they call that boat tour?
Boat safari.
Boat safari. And I have to admit, the guy that took us had eagle eyes. I mean, he would find everything from like I don't even know. Alligators, the bats. Oh yeah, there was a bat. There was a bat. We're going under a bridge and he stops the boat and he's like, look, and this tiny little crack in the bridge underneath, and there's this little baby bat. We were pretty sure Jordan was going to jump out of the boat. She almost jumped out. The problem is supposedly there were alligators, which at that point I wasn't so sure there were alligators, but he did in fact find an alligator. He found one, and we found one of everything. I was almost convinced they glued them to the trees because what did he find? He found a bat,
tiny frog,
little tiny frog, and then lizard.
Little bird.
Komodo dragon?
The Komodo dragon, yeah. So, I mean, he found one of everything, but it was so random that it was like, and here's one of these, and here's one of these. So, pretty funny, and we're glad Jordan didn't jump out of the boat, so that was good. What's that?
Pictures are not showing.
The Tsunami Museum? No. Uh-oh. Hold on, let me... Oh, well, that's sad. Have you been able to see any of them? Oh, sad face. All right, well, hold on. Since you're not seeing any of our pictures, we're going to do it this way and just show our desktop. So a very ugly desktop here. Bummer. That's sad. We weren't sure if that would work, but it worked earlier. Okay, so hopefully you can at least see the slide that I'm showing. Aaron, you tell me if that's showing. Cool. So that was the front of the Tsunami Museum, and I'll back it up real quick and just show. That's going to get interesting. Some of the different colors. These were the pictures we showed. The safari, the turtles, and all that fun stuff. So the Tsunami Museum was at the end, and one of the things that was very interesting is the gentleman that took us on the boat tour actually mentioned towards the end that that his wife had actually died in the tsunami. She was sleeping. And I think for me, probably one of the most impactful things was that the tsunami, when it hit, the water started to recede about 51 minutes before the tsunami hit Sri Lanka. And with 51 minutes, that would have given people enough time to get to safety. That would have given them more than enough time to get a mile inland to safety. And so that was really, to me, one of the biggest tragedies is people weren't aware of what a tsunami was. And so they just had no idea. In fact, most people were fascinated and walked towards the ocean to see what was going on. And unfortunately, hundreds of thousands of lives were lost because of that. And so to me, that was probably one of the most impactful things. And I don't know, what did you guys take out of that experience?
The images were definitely impactful. They had a whole section that was covered because of the discretion of the photos. So that kind of stood out to me because once they pulled back the curtain, you could really see all the damage that had been done.
Yeah.
Yeah, now they have all the emergency services available now. Like they have all the, they know the signs. They have like the alarms now that go off. So that's a little bit refreshing after that tragedy.
Yeah, and that's, I think, the biggest thing is that they now have everybody is obviously aware of it, and, the hope is that this would never happen again. So very, very powerful experience, and definitely something that I was not emotionally prepared for. They do show you pictures of, they have a very private area where you can actually see pictures of just bodies everywhere, swollen and black, and just incredibly sad. They did have a lot of stories that were miracles too, though, which was neat to see. Children. There was one little girl that survived the train. A lot of people jumped on the train to get away, and over 1,000 people died on the train, and only one child survived, and she actually survived and was able to be adopted. Her parents passed away, so there were some incredible stories. Last but not least, some of the things that, I don't think you guys will be able to see this, but some of the things we didn't love as much were the bugs. I had an incredible, I'm going to try one more time to see if this shows up, because it should. Let me see if we can get Keynote to work here. So let's see. Keynote, yeah, it should work. Aaron, I'm going to bring this on again and let me know if you can see these little ants running around. So this was one of my least favorite experiences. Is one night I could not sleep, and I kept thinking there was something crawling on my face, And you know how you just kind of like you're tired and you're wiping, and I woke up and turned on the light because it was driving me nuts, and my entire bed was covered with ants. They were all over me, all over my face. It was super gross. That wasn't the scariest thing for me. The spiders were definitely the spider in my room.
The spiders in the bathroom.
It was that we had it. Our bathroom was actually outside. It was beautiful, but it was outside. You had to step outside to go to the restroom. And one night, I'm heading to the restroom, and I'm sitting there, and all of a sudden I see there is a spider, humongous spider that I must have stepped on, half dying in the corner. So later I send, Nick's going into the bathroom a couple hours later, and I'm like, Nick, be careful, there's a spider on the floor. And I was completely freaked out by this huge spider. And Nick goes in there and he's like, there's no spider on the floor. And where did you find it?
Well, I was washing my hands, and then all of a sudden I saw it crawling up the little bit of the side, and it freaked me out because it was like half dead, so it was crawling super creepy.
Yeah, so it basically, while it was dying, kept crawling and eventually made its way. And then a couple hours later, I went back to find it, and it was completely gone. And
That was the worst part.
That was the worst part, not knowing where this half-dead spider was. And you two had some
cockroach friends.
We had cockroaches.
Yeah.
Not some. They had a ton of cockroaches.
We each had our own species of insect in our own little hut.
Yeah, it was pretty interesting. So that was definitely a little bit chaotic. But you guys, they said that they had cockroaches, and all of a sudden I went to open the door, and they were like climbing up the door.
All over our door.
It was pretty funny. But
lizards in our room.
Yeah, that's true. We all had lizards. Those were cute though.
Yeah,
and I figured they were eating the spiders, so it was okay. But yeah, there was definitely some little creepy crawlies. Beautiful location that we were so well taken care of. I mean, honestly, no complaints. It was just interesting to say the least. All right, we're going to switch back over and just see if this is going to show. And Aaron, you're able to see that.
I was able to see the bugs, but not you at the same time.
Cool. That's perfect. That's what we want. All right, so Miss Melanie, we're going to let Melanie kind of talk for a second and tell us a little bit about her experience. This is Miss Melanie.
So to switch gears from the bugs, one of my favorite experiences, we rode a train, which doesn't sound that exciting, but we stayed at a hotel on a beach, and the train tracks went right by it. So one of the first things we noticed is people would ride the train, and they'd be hanging out the door. And so naturally, we wanted to do that too. So Namal took us to the train station. Luckily, he spoke the language, so he was able to figure out what ticket to get us and how to get us there. So we got on the train, and I mean, it was just
insanity.
Not for the claustrophobic, that's for sure.
Yeah, we did have one person with us that was claustrophobic.
We did it during rush hour.
Yeah, it was an epic experience. I mean, honestly, it's hard to describe what it felt like. But I'm going to go ahead and just roll a video here real quick to kind of give you a feel, and we'll kind of talk through it as well. If I can find it. You guys see it in there? Train. There we go.
As you can see, it was pretty crowded. For the first few stops, it wasn't even that bad. We were all on our own, and we were hanging out the door, enjoying it, and thinking it was great. And then rush hour, and everyone got on the stop at the same time. They all squeezed past us. Didn't matter that there was no room, and there was a total wall of people at the door. They just squeezed their way in there, and literally it was to the point where we didn't have to hold on to the pole anymore, because just you stand there, and people are holding you up.
Oh, and you know what we didn't cover is we didn't cover the temperature, because it is like
that's important.
98 degrees with 99% humidity. So what you have to realize is we are sweating profusely at all times. I remember, not just us, everybody. So it's kind of like the swaying of sweat and wetness, and
it made it so much better that everyone else was in their business clothes because they had just gotten off work. So.
Yeah,
and you stick together, you don't fall off.
Oh yeah, everything. Your whole body is so sticky, and that was definitely definitely intense for us. All right, so let's go ahead and Miss Jordan. Let's take a look at Miss Jordan. There she is.
So one of my favorite kind of our Turi experience was I loved.
What did you say? Turi?
Turi.
Turi.
Our more tourist side of the trip, besides producing this wonderful film, is I loved the elephants, and we had a couple opportunities to see them. And I think the first time we saw them, this was at the Pinawala Orphanage for elephants, and they have tons and tons of elephants, but they kind of. To get the elephants to this river, they have this walkway through 20 gift shops or whatever.
Yep.
Through the middle of everything.
So take a look.
We're standing right next to them. It was a little scary, but they are such beautiful creatures.
Yeah, this is pretty intense. At first, they keep yelling at you.
Yeah,
and
we didn't understand why they were yelling at us to move.
Yeah, and they tell us to get back into the shop, and they kept saying it's dangerous. And I don't know, you have this circus attitude of like, oh, it's fine. And then when they walk by you, it is intense. These are enormous creatures.
Yes.
Look at him.
Said
He's
hi.
smiling.
He said hi to us.
He's so cute.
One of them actually, remember when the one went into the shop?
Oh yeah,
Yeah. That was
we were all together for
scary.
that, right?
That's very scary.
So that was right in the beginning. They're saying, be careful, get back. And, again, you kind of have this superhero attitude, and all of a sudden
Can't see it.
it passes by. Oh, you can't see it. Can they not?
There's no video.
Oh, that's
no.
sad face. Oh, that's okay. You know what? Let's just go to Jordan's pretty pictures then. There you go. Can you see that? Perfect. All right, good deal. Well, there's the beautiful elephant. So you didn't get to see our smiling elephant, but we have to install all the videos. So now we know. We just learned something. So one of the most intense things was standing there. They kept pushing us back, and the elephants were passing, and probably 10, not even 5 steps in the same shop that we were standing in, one elephant kind of got upset and turned and tried to get in.
Almost went right in.
He almost went right in the store. These are open glass. There's no glass, just open stores. And at that point, when he turned and they had to start yelling and get him out, and it was pretty. It definitely was. What's that? What, the show didn't show? That's okay. I know why that didn't happen. So we can make that happen next time. So, but at least you get the pretty pictures, and you can see Jordan's picture, right? See the elephant.
No?
Baby
You
elephants.
can't? She can't see the pictures either.
Oh, that's sad. Hold on. Well, we can do it this way then. Cool. All right, so let's go back. Yeah, I'm going to go back through these pictures real quick. You can at least see the little, maybe. All right, well, that's sad. Nobody wants to see us. Hold on. That's not going to work. There we go. So I'm going to have to just do it this way. All right, so you should be able to see the elephants now on my screen at least. Nope, not going to work. Well, that stinks. Let's go ahead and just look at that. All right, you can at least see that, right? You can see my screen. Perfect. All right, so, and then we went on safari. That was kind of fun as well. Anybody have a safari comment?
I was bruised from the Jeep.
Oh, yeah.
There's a lot of other people that do the safari at the same time.
Yeah, there were 40,000 Jeeps there. It was pretty crazy.
It's kind of a hunt.
All right, Nikolai. It's Nikolai's birthday. So,
Happy birthday.
Thank you.
Oh, and hello. Oh, we've got some people from Palestine. That's super cool. You're getting lots of birthday wishes, so that's pretty cool. All right, we fixed the pictures. Hopefully you can see the pictures now, but this is Nikolai. We're good?
5 minutes.
5 minutes. Oh.
All right, perfect. We got 5 minutes to go. All right, Nick, so share with us a little bit about what your journey was.
Perfect. Yeah. So my favorite thing I like to do when I travel, doing the tourism, or however Jordan said it, touring,
Touring.
is doing street photography, because I love seeing different cultures. And my favorite type of street photography is I actually go in the back of a car and just drive through the streets photographing in the back of a car. And what that allows me to do is get a lot of variety really quickly, but also allows me to catch super raw moments because no one can see that I'm taking the photos, because after I take it, I'm 100 feet away. So it's super unique, and my favorite part of doing that is I can catch moments that I didn't know if I was just walking through. And my favorite thing is after I take the photos, once I edit the photos, I can then see other elements in each photo that was not known to me when I first started taking the photo. So it just allows me to kind of dive deeper into the culture, which is my favorite part of the trip.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome. So last but not least, the food was incredible, minus the hot dogs. But the Sri Lankan food was to die for. That little brown dish there is some sort of fish thing, was super spicy, and it was just amazing. Now, I know we have 4 minutes, so I just really quickly, we're doing great on time. I'm super bummed that you didn't get to see that last video because the elephants were pretty cute, but we'll see if we can post it on Facebook. But I just want to talk a little bit about the production so people understand sort of what it's like to be part of this. First of all, the gear that we take, everybody, I'll shout out a couple things. We shot this film with the Canon 5D Mark IVs. We did have GoPro and an Osmo as well. We were trying out for the first time. All Manfrotto gear as far as monopods, tripods. We had Pro Media gear slider. And what else, guys?
We had Rode mics.
Rode mics,
They're
yeah.
awesome.
Definitely.
Are the best.
Yeah, Rode mics, they have changed our lives. We used another company previous, and we've been with Rode a couple years now, and just incredible. They're pro mics as well as all of
their pin mics really make interviews look so much better. If you're into video and when you can't see the mic, that's a magical thing.
Yeah.
So that's why we love Rode.
Absolutely. And then Manfrotto bags, and I'm trying to think what else.
Our spider holster belts.
Oh,
Those are
spider
really
holsters,
handy.
gotta
My
have
favorite
those.
part
Yeah,
right there.
definitely gotta have the
The
spider
Ronin
holsters.
too.
And the Ronin,
The
yep,
Ronin,
Ronin DJI. So those are just some of the gear we have, and let's just keep moving. So the way we work, let me just go ahead and switch over to us here. The way we like to work is we each take responsibility. And what we found is when we first started doing this years ago, everybody would just take cameras and we would shoot, and we didn't really have a plan. And now we really go into these countries with a plan, and everybody has a really important part, and together it just brings the film together. Together it brings it together.
We're
So
together.
I tend to do the real close-up. So I do a lot of the macro work, or I shoot with the 70 to 200 millimeters. So my job, if we were interviewing somebody or photographing scenes like children at school, I would be focused on their hands and their feet and all the little details that make them human or make the experience alive. And your job,
I shoot kind of the wider shots, so you can see a full scene, kind of see everything that's going on all at once, because we kind of tag team here.
yeah, we stay together only because basically whatever she's shooting wide, I'm getting the details. So it tells the story really well. And then Melanie, she has the hardest job. I'm just going to admit it.
I get to carry around the Ronin, which is very heavy.
She looks
after
really
a long
cool.
time. Makes me buff though, so
Yeah,
it's okay.
she does. And the slider.
And the slider shots, which are really beautiful. So
Yeah, and I personally feel like the Ronin and the slider are what gives every film the impact. I think it takes you to a next level. If you're getting into film, truly it takes you to the next level, and I think that's really important. And then Nick,
I provide all the stills for the nonprofit as well as for the video if we decide to use photos with it.
so all of the stills that you're seeing, he captures everything in a still so that we can use that for marketing and promotion as well for these nonprofits. So we kind of make a team, and honestly, this was by far the best experience we've ever had because everybody had a place, everybody knew their place, and everybody was doing their job, and at the end of the day, the production value was incredible. I'm just going to show you a couple more. Some of the images, I'm going to quickly go through this because I want to be on time. I know we only have 1 minute, but one of the most impactful things was the children's faces, just how beautiful everybody was. And again, these are all Nick's images.
Captured those well.
Yeah, they're
They're
really
great.
powerful. And I think, walking into this, it was kind of mind-blowing. But once we show the film, I think we'll be able to kind of share with you sort of our experience. When we first got there, we were kind of surprised. Most of the kids were very clean. They were in uniforms. And then eventually we went to where they lived, and it was a totally different story. So I'm going to share this quote, and then we will go right to the film. This was the quote. The first, what is the name of the first place? Samana Sarana. She's the only one that remembers names, by the way. I'm always like, what's his face at that one place? And she always fills it in. So this quote was actually huge on the wall. And it was so beautiful, and it had such an impact that day. You have to remember that was day one of filming. We are sweating bullets. We were not prepared for the heat. It was just intense. But really walking into it with this quote was really a great way to start. So that being said, I'm going to switch over to the film because I want to make sure that we are on time as I promised, and then we'll finish up after. So without
the parents did not know what to do with these children, so they tie their children with some chains to keep in one place. in our country, these kind of children, normally the society doesn't accept. So they may have just spent their lifetime in houses. If we didn't have this place, it would have been very worse thing for them. But we help them to recognize their dignity, their talents, and also as normal persons, human beings.
ඇත්තටම මම කියන්නේ මේක මම කියන්නේ මගේ දරුවා විතරක් නෙමෙයි තවත් දරුවෝ මෙතන ඉන්නවා සිස්ටර්ලා ලොකු හයියක් අපිට මොකද ඇත්තම කිව්වොත් මම අසරණ වෙච්ච වෙලාවේ සිස්ටර් අපිත් එක්ක හිටියා සිස්ටර්ට අපි දෙයක් කිව්වොත් සිස්ටර් ඒක අත්හරින්නේ නැහැ සිස්ටර් පුළුවන් ප්‍රමාණය සිස්ටර් අපිට උදව් කරනවා.
Many parents look for our center. They trust us more, I suppose, and they know that we are really training them. For the small ones, we give more play therapy and the singing because for the speech, when we sing, they really catch up. And for the big ones, they just have some exercise and after that what they are doing is writing and they learn to read. So I would like to thank the Clarendon Foundation because they really decided to help these special children. So they will really learn something for their future.
My name is Rohita Indrajit. I am from northwestern province in Sri Lanka. When we were coming here, there's no lights, there's no proper roads, all gravel roads. People don't have drinking water.
Unfortunately, in Sri Lanka, there's a lot of poor people in the slums and shanties. And sometimes you couldn't imagine, perhaps, the type of poverty and misery some of these people experience and undergo. That's why they decided to have a separate place, a place where they could be given good food and shelter.
Thank you, Jesus, for the food.
We are giving the children 2 meals per day, morning and afternoon, and then they attend class.
මොනවදලා සුදුවෙන් නඳගෙන සපත්තු දාගෙන බස් එකට යනවා. ගිහලා හැමෝම ස්කෝලේට ඇවිල්ලා කනවා. කාලා පන්තියට පස්සක් කියලා පන්තියට ගිහිල්ලා ලියනවා.
And in this neighborhood, you also have a lot of drug abuse, child abuse, family violence, and really no place to sleep. And now, unfortunately, in Sri Lanka, there's very little space and place in the families for the elder.
දරුවෝ ඉන්න 4 දෙනෙක් දුවලා දෙන්නයි පුතාලා දෙන්නයි මේව එකක් නෑ උදව් මට උදව් කරන්න තරම් මගේ ලෙඩේ හැටියට මට උදව් කරන්න බෑ ඒගොල්ලන්.
So they appeal to us, and where we can, we let them in and they come here. We provide them with newspapers, television, and then they have the 3 meals.
ඒක නලිට දුර බේත් කණ්ඩ දෙනවා ගමන දෙනවා කොහොමද උදව් කරන්න කියන්නේ අපේ අසරණ කමල දැන් බලන්න කොච්චි දෙනෙක් ඉන්නවද කියලා පවුල ඉන්න පවුලට සනීප නැහැ ගෙන්න පහන්දාවට පාන් දෙනවා දැන් බත් දෙනවා අරන් යන්නේ මාරගේ යාට දෙන ඒගොල්ලොත් දෙයියන් එක පිඟිල්ලනවා තමට කරන දෙයියෝ දේශවන්දරෝ ආශිර්වාද කරන්නේ.
incredible. So please tell us what you think. We would absolutely love to hear your thoughts. And as you can see, it really is an incredible organization doing amazing things. And we're absolutely so honored to be a part of it. We're gonna finish up here soon, but I just wanted to share with you a few more things. Hopefully you guys, let me make sure you can see my screen. All right, so, hang on, we got this. All right, so a couple things about the organization. They've been in operation over 29 years. They've used over $3 million in resources that they have secured through donations and funding efforts. They are really focused on long-term care, which I think is really important. They are not only producing education for children, but they're ensuring that they have vocational skills, that they are able to go out in life and really produce at whatever level they're living. The very best part to me is 100% of the donations go directly to the projects. There are no administrative costs. In fact, everybody are volunteers. Most of the people working with the children are nuns or who else? Help me.
Other volunteers.
I'm still emotional about the film. Other volunteers. So there's really no administrative costs. All of this money is going directly to food. They are feeding hundreds. I cannot do this now. I'm getting too emotional. They are feeding hundreds of children every single day, feeding the elderly. Please, somebody save me from my own self.
Yes, they feed them. They provide the children with school, with education, all the way from they have itty bitties 2-year-olds up to teenagers. So they kind of have the whole broad spectrum and all the teachers.
And they also do. Sorry to interrupt you. They also do other things that we weren't able to capture, but they provide care and treatment to children with cancer. They have facilities to help unwed mothers. They do all kinds of different stuff, helping all throughout Sri Lanka. So they're really impactful.
Yeah, and it's really listening to the nuns talk about the situation pretty much every day. Without this funding, there would be no help for these particular children. And every day they pray that somebody will make a donation and gosh, breathe. Sorry, I love that film. Make a donation and keep this work going. And it's hard. I can't imagine living day to day, literally meal to meal for these people. So it's really amazing to watch that experience. Their 3 most important goals are education, providing education for children, providing health care for all of the people that they work with, and then providing especially abled children, providing them skills and a vocation, something that they could do to be contributors in their home. Because the situation is very dire. These children without help would potentially be left alone. They are tied with chains. Even the elderly, we heard stories of the elderly just being tied up. And it's not that their family doesn't love them. They just, they have no resources for care. And so they're
worried for them.
It's a safety issue. They're tying them up so that they are safe, so that they can leave for the day and go try to produce an income. And meanwhile, they're tying their 2-year-old into her crib because there's just no resources for care. So it really is an amazing work. The kids were incredible. I don't know if you guys want to share any stories. The kids were so much fun to work with. They were just always smiling. And I think that's what was interesting. And I think this picture really kind of reflects what our first thoughts were, which when we got there, everybody was really clean and they wear uniforms. And when you think about poverty, you don't really think about the impact. When you see kids that are smiling and have, clean clothes on, you just don't really think about the impact and what they're really going through. We were able to work with 2 schools that worked with differently abled children and kind of work with their resources and see how they were taken care of. And then the elderly, I think we were all really impressed with the work that they do. They provide them food and resources for health, which is also very important. So the whole trip was really powerful and something that I know will stick with us for the rest of our lives. When it comes to poverty and seeing poverty, I think that was the big switch over. Thank heavens Melanie had sort of the intuition that she felt like we needed to go and see these children's homes because, again, in the schools, they had uniforms, they looked clean, everybody, was happy. And so it really wasn't until we went to their home and we were able to see the...
Pat's here.
Hi, Pat.
Hey, Pat. Hi. Oh, Pat. Good to see you. Pat was on the trip with us. So it wasn't really until we were able to go and see their homes. And these living conditions are just mind-boggling. Tiny little rooms. just really overwhelming. Everything from the lack of water, the lack of space, the smell was overpowering everywhere. But the one thing that we continually saw was just the happiness. Like, no matter what the situation, it just seemed like everybody really chose to be happy in the most humble of situations. And I think that's kind of the thing I take from every trip that we do, is that no matter what situation you're in, there is always something to be grateful for. I'm grateful for these guys. They're awesome. They did an amazing job with this. All right, so we have seen the film, so we just want to leave you with a message. A lot of people always ask us, what can we do? How can we help? Obviously, making donations is the number one thing you can do. Spreading the word, sharing the message, sharing the video. We're going to post the video on Facebook. We'll post it on YouTube. We'll share the link, so if you can pass that message along, that's very helpful. And if this particular cause does not really impact you, or you don't feel a need to provide services here, then please find something that has, something that touches your heart and makes a difference to you. Here is the foundation's website. It's Clarendon Foundation. You can go check them out. You can read about all the things that they do. It really is incredible. I feel like our film showed only a very small portion of the work that they do and the impact that they have on the people. So I definitely feel like there's so much more we could share. We have so much more footage, and we hope to share in maybe some shorts later on. But we enjoyed sharing this presentation. And one more happy birthday to Nick. Happy birthday. And I just want to give a big thank you to my team. I'm too emotional right now. I'm pretty sure I couldn't get through an actual thank you. So I will just give them a general, I'm so grateful for them and the time that they spend. And there's so many other people that you're not aware of. These are the faces today, but there's Erin in the back. Erin, wave hi. Erin's in the back, and she's actually she's the person that when I'm able to leave, when we're able to leave, I know that my studio at home is safe. Deb and Randy, and who am I missing? Bo. Bo the dog, the crazy dog. Actually, Bo, I'm not sure what he's contributed. Yeah, he's not really that helpful, honestly. Like, and Michelle handles all my finances. There's just so many people that have my parents. Oh, now I feel like we're at the Oscars or something. But there's just so many people who have had an impact. Nimal, a big thank you to Nimal.
Thank you.
Without Nimal, this absolutely would not have happened. We would not have had this incredible experience. So we appreciate that, and we are very, very grateful. All right, guys, we're going to finish up. I promised that I would at least give you a heads up on what's coming up. So 10-second version is, let me find it real quick. We are about to leave on tour. We are headed out to 50 states in the United States. So if you like what we do and you're interested in working with us, we are actually doing family portraits, one per state. So my goal is by the end of this year to have photographed a family in every state. We have the whole team here. We've actually done, we call it a legacy tour in the past. It is now officially the Wanderlust tour. We've done this in the past. It's a lot of fun. But if you are interested, you can check that out at Sandy Putsch Tours. We will be hitting every single state, so there's not a place that anyone lives in the United States that we won't visit. And if you want to find out more information, you can go to sandyputchtours.com and check out our travel schedule. And that way, hopefully, if you're not interested in a portrait, that's okay. We will be doing photography and video. Some people like to do the actual videos of their family. But if not that, then I hope you'll at least touch base and say hello. We welcome Oreos, so we like Oreos. We will have Bo the dog with us. And he likes Oreos too, actually, and he's not supposed to, but he ate 2 bags of Oreos and lived to tell the tale. Ask me how that turned out. So we will be on the road. It's going to be a lot of fun. Definitely check out Sandy Putsch Tours. And please follow us on Gypsy Heart Traveler on Instagram. All of our adventures are there, the trips that we take. So definitely go subscribe and follow us. And I think that's it, guys. Anything else you got to say to anybody?
Nope. Thanks for watching.
Thanks for watching. And let us know what you think. Have a good one. Everybody say bye. Happy birthday. I can't find the button.